Welcome to Big Fin Seafood Kitchen. I'm James Slattery, Executive Chef. For today's Compliments of the Chef, I'm going to demonstrate how to make our Big Fin style cioppino. So now we're in the kitchen and we're going to go ahead and get started doing our prep. The first thing we want to get done is we want to cut our new potatoes. We also call them Red Bliss. We're just going to quarter them. Then we're going to get an oven-safe pan, put them in the pan, add a little bit of olive oil, salt, cracked black pepper, toss that all together. Then we're going to go to an oven that's been preheated to 350 degrees. It's going to take about 30 to 45 minutes. It just depends upon the size of the potato. You can tell when the potato's done when you can put a toothpick through it and it goes through easily. So now back to the board, we're going to start cutting the rest of our prep. We're going to start with our green bell pepper, just a rough cut. Our shallots. Now if you want to use red onion or yellow onion, you can. We're going to also shave our fennel, just a nice thin julienne. This is what's going to give it some of the anise flavor, which is very popular in the cioppino. We have our other onion component, our scallions. These will be added near the end. And then finally our parsley. That's one of our fresh herbs that we'll be using. Again, just a rough cut. This is optional. I like to use a Spanish chorizo. It is very hard-like, similar to a pepperoni. The key is just make sure you pull off the waxy material on the outside before you cut it, and I just do quarter moons. So now we're back to the stove. Going to add our butter, our oil. I have it on medium heat, medium to medium low heat. Add our chorizo to start rendering. After about 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and add our garlic, our shallots, our green bell pepper, our shaved fennel. So we're going to go ahead and then add our parsley. And then we're going to let it cook for probably about 10-15 minutes. Deglaze with lemon juice and the Pernod. Again, the Pernod is the second level of the anise flavor, the licorice flavor. Let that cook out. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper at this point. We will further season to taste at the end. So now it's time for our tomato components. Going to add our canned tomatoes and then our tomato sauce. Again, you can use any kind of tomato sauce that you'd like. Let that come all together a little bit. Add our clam broth or our fish fumet or our fish stock, whichever you want to get, seafood stock. In a pinch, you can even use chicken broth. So we're going to go ahead and add all our dried herbs, our oregano, our thyme, our basil, our bay leaf. And if you like a little bit of spice, you can add your chili pepper flakes here. If you like a lot of spice, you can add more. Don't want any spice, you don't have to. We let that cook for about 30 to 35 minutes. Once it got a nice simmer, now we're going to go ahead and add our seafood and finish off this San Francisco cioppino Big Fin style. So we have our clams, our mussels. We're going to add in our fish. Today's fish I'm using is grouper. You can again use Pacific cod. You could use monkfish. Monkfish is a favorite of mine. We're going to add some of our picked crab meat, our scallops, our shrimp that have been peeled the vein and tail off. And then finally, just more for a garnish, the look of it, we added our crab legs in the shell still. We let that go for a few minutes. Then we're going to add our sweet corn. We add our new potatoes. And then we let that come to a nice simmer, almost to a boil. Once the shrimp look cooked, the scallops look cooked, the mussels and clams are all open, then you should be ready to add your parsley, some scallions. Again, I like to add that at the end just for the color and that bite of the onion. And we should be ready to plate. Get some nice big bowls, a big ladle, and a slotted spoon. Go ahead and put everything into your bowl. Make sure you give everybody a little bit of fish, a little bit of shrimp, scallops, mussels, clams, and crab. And then I always like to serve it with a nice crusty bread. My favorite obviously is sourdough because that is a San Francisco staple. And here we have our Big Fin style Cioppino and compliments of the chef. Thank you, and I hope you try this recipe and enjoy it as much as I do.